Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Enjoying your October day, your fall afternoon. So it's a beautiful place, beautiful day here. So I decided again to come outside and enjoy the afternoon with you. So I have some questions for you, as always. When you're dealing with improving your health in some area, let's say it's your digestion or your immune system, and you get to a point where you feel like you've hit a plateau, then what do? How do you push off that plateau and continue rebuilding that part of your body? Well, to help answer that, then I'm going to share this quote from a woman that has written a lot of books. She was a doctor and a scientist. She's since passed on. However, her work is still relevant today. And her name is Dr. Candace Pert. Have you heard of her? She's written 2 or 3 different books. One of them's called The Molecules of Emotion. It's been quite a few years now, but it's very pivotal in understanding the mind-body connection. Hello, Les. Thanks for tuning in. So I want to share with you one of her quotes by Dr. Candace Pert. And she says that the mind and body are not separate entities. Hello, Heather. Thanks for tuning in. The mind and body are not separate entities. Hello, Nancy. They are one and inseparable. You cannot treat one without affecting the other. Hello, Audrey. So that's a quote by Dr. Candace Pert, and she wrote it in her book, The Molecules of Emotion. So what does that have to do with you? So let's say, as I was mentioning earlier, you've come to a point in your healing health journey where you feel like you've hit a plateau, and everything that you're doing health-wise, dietary-wise, it's not really kicking you off the plateau. That's when you need to look a little bit deeper. And what I want to suggest to you is that deeper is looking at the mental and emotional, energetic components of your health and whatever the condition is that you're looking to improve. So as Dr. Candace Pert says, the mind and body are not separate. You can't heal one without the other. So in my years of dealing with holistic health, natural healing, then I started out learning about the body's energy field first. I'd spent a lot of years working with a woman who was very gifted, very adept at energy healing. And she was a medical intuitive, meaning she could read the energies of the body and see what was going on and how that correlated to the physical health. And so she taught me a lot. And then later when I went into nutrition school, then that just added another layer to what I already had learned from her about caring for the body, understanding it, and then adding diet and lifestyle techniques to that. So, how many of you are familiar with the energy system or the different chakras, the energy centers of the body? You just give me a thumbs up or a like or a heart. Let me know that you're familiar with it. So if you're not, then those are just energy centers in the body that correlate with the endocrine glands. And in learning from another woman named Dr. Carolyn Meese, have any of you guys heard of her? Just give me a heart, a thumbs up or something if you have. So Carolyn Meese did a lot of work, wrote a few books about really explaining the energy system of the body and how that correlates to physical health. And she's written also a few books on it. So what I'm going to be referring to with my sharing with you today is something that I drew from one of Carolyn Meese's books. It's called Why People Don't Heal and How They Can. So her name is Carolyn Meese. You can go find her on Amazon. So she was talking about the different energy centers of the body and how they correlate with the endocrine glands. And so those areas of the body are areas where the body receives energy, meaning information about various aspects of your life. So I'll read through this really quickly so you can be able to tell what those various aspects are. And then I'll pull it all together for you so you can see how that you can apply it in day-to-day physical, practical living. Sound good? Give me a thumbs up, a like, some hearts, and follow. So we'll start with the bottom of the trunk of the body, the root or the tailbone or the pelvic floor. And that correlates to our adrenal glands. And this is all about survival, physical survival. How do you feel like you're doing on the day-to-day, taking care of yourself, just being here in life? It's about the right to be here on earth. Do you feel like you don't have a right to be here? Or something that we see oftentimes too much in our society, the way it's structured, is that we are taxed for everything. We are taxed to be alive. We are taxed to have our feet on the ground. We are taxed to have a home. So all of that taxation counteracts, hello Frank, our sense of having a right to be here on the earth, that we have a right to survive, that we can be supported. It's also about our ability to stand up for ourselves, the feeling that we can be at home, feeling grounded and secure on the earth, and the ability to provide for life's necessities, basic survival. So everything about that aspect of life, your experiences, your beliefs, trauma, emotions that you have about those things, all of that data is going to be received by your root chakra energy center, and it's also going to be stored in the tissues of that area of your body, as well as down your legs. So if you have a difficult time feeling like you can take care of yourself physically, the basic physical necessities of life, keeping a roof over your head, feeling like life is a safe place to be, that it's supportive for you to be here, that it's, just all about your physical survival. If you have a hard time with that, then that difficulty, the energy and feelings and thoughts of that difficulty is also going to be stored in that area of your body. And so how does that correlate with your health? If those energies, which are generally lower vibrational energies, meaning about fear and scarcity and lack, and you can't have, that life is not safe, people are not safe, if there's a lot of trauma and abuse there, it's going to be stored in the tissues of that area of your body, and it can have a very detrimental effect on your physical health there. And in that area of your body, the tailbone, your root, the pelvic floor, your adrenals, it also ties in with your reproductive organs. Those tissues, the health, physical health can be compromised. Okay? And so you'd want to address those. Hello, Adela. Thanks for tuning in. So moving up the trunk, further up in the pelvic bowl, we find our reproductive organs. It correlates with the second chakra. This is the next energy center. So what does that correlate with? So that processes and receives and stores energies of our life, emotions, thoughts, experiences of our life. That's all around money, desire, guilt, pleasure, creativity, power and control, blame, abundance or scarcity, sexuality and procreation, ethics and honor and relationships. And I would also add creativity and some communication. So again, if you're having a difficult time in this area of your life around money, if you feel guilty for everything, if you feel guilty for having sex, if sex is a bad, dirty thing because of religious programming or whatever social programming you got growing up, and you're still hanging on to those ideas, if you're having a hard time having healthy, intimate relationships with people, with communicating, have a hard time making money and experiencing abundance so that you can feel supported by the earth. All of those issues about life and our experiences of that sector of life, again, is stored in that area of your body. It's processed by the energy center in your pelvic bowl that correlates to your reproductive organs, the testes, the ovaries, those endocrine glands. Okay? All right, so moving upwards into the body, we come to the solar plexus, which is located right below your rib cage. And this has to do with the third chakra and correlates with the pancreas and spleen. The pancreas makes digestive enzymes and it also makes the insulin. So this area of the body processes, receives, stores all kinds of data of your life around self-esteem, willpower, personal honor, trust, fear, confidence, self-respect, feeling assertive or not, feeling intimidated or not, how sensitive you are to criticism from others, how well you care for yourself, and how much responsibility you can take for the decisions that you make. So all of that information, all the experiences, the thoughts, the feelings you have about all of that stuff, which is a lot about your identity, how you feel about you, all of that is stored and processed in your belly. So this ties in a lot with digestive issues. So if there's things in your life that you cannot digest, you can't metabolize, if there's relationships, conversations, expectations from others about you, beliefs about what life is about, things that you've absorbed over your life, especially from your childhood, about what others want from you, if you're having a hard time with that because you know deep down inside that that's not true, that's not who you really are, and yet you feel like you have to put on this facade to please everybody, and you can't stand up and say in confidence, this is what I'm about, and then your self-respect erodes, all of that feeling of not being able to digest or metabolize things is going to affect your ability to literally digest your food. And so it can set you up for digestive issues and problems. So you really want to look at how well can you trust yourself and others? Do you hold a lot of fear in place of having confidence and feeling like you have got a lot of willpower to do what you want to do in your life? All of those things and those feelings are going to be received by this third energy center of your solar plexus, and it's going to be stored in that area of your body. Okay? So moving up to the heart center, which is here. This corresponds to the thymus gland. Thanks for giving me the hearts. If anything is resonating, please let me know with a thumbs up or a like or a comment or anything. The heart center here correlates with the thymus gland, which is associated with your immune system. And this is all about experiences, feelings, beliefs of loneliness, forgiveness, your ability to forgive easily yourself and others. If you struggle with jealousy, if you have a hard time opening up to receive love, thanks for the hearts. If you struggle with issues around grief and hope and trust, and you carry hatred towards other people from past relationships, the things that they did to you, people can be just horrific to each other. Hello, David, thanks for tuning in. This also processes the energies around compassion and anger and resentment, commitment, self-centeredness and bitterness. So if you're having experiences with any of those, have a hard time letting go and forgiving, a hard time opening up yourself to love, to receive and to give love, all of that closure, that woundedness from past relationships is going to sit here in the tissues of your chest and in your lungs. And it's going to be very difficult for you to embark into a successful, healthy, supportive relationship later on if you don't resolve those emotional things. And additionally, with that energy sitting here on your chest, it can affect your heart, your lungs, and your heart. Just a little side note, in Chinese medicine, how many of you are familiar with Chinese medicine? Just give me a thumbs up if you are. So with lungs in Chinese medicine, that is associated with grief, which ties directly in with all of those things that I just said about the heart center. So if you're holding grief, then it makes you prone to respiratory issues, asthma, infections in your sinuses. It's just a difficult time opening up for the lungs to breathe, for the sacs to hold air. And years ago, when I was first doing this, receiving a lot of energy work and working with the teacher that taught me all of this, then there was a lot of energy that was cleared and released out of my lungs and my heart space over 2 or 3 years worth. And at the time when I first started working with her, without fail, every year I would get sinus infections, sore throat, bronchitis, just a lot of stuff in my sinuses and lungs. And over time with working with her, I didn't do anything else. Nothing was changing my diet, nothing. I only did energy work with her. And after a couple of years of clearing the energy out of my lungs, then I no longer got all of that infection every single winter. I no longer had the bronchitis and the sore throat. And I learned in retrospect that my body, I had been carrying a great amount of grief and sadness in my lungs, in my heart space, and that was what was contributing to my annual sore throat, bronchitis, cough, infections, everything in my sinuses. So with what I'm sharing with you, not only have I lived it, I have, a lot of the book knowledge, but I also have the experiential knowledge to know how this correlates with your physical health. So the more you can look into the mind-body connection in this way, and really looking at, it's what I call the body mapping, but looking at the energy centers of your system and how that correlates to the physical health of that particular area of your body, then you'd be able to go a long ways in really self-assessing what you need to strengthen that whatever area of the body, whatever system and organ that you need to strengthen and heal. Okay? Does that make sense? Give me some likes, a thumbs up. Thanks for all of the likes so far. All right, so let's move up a little further. The throat center, which has to do with your thyroid. A lot of people have hypothyroidism or goiters or even hyperthyroid. And so not only does that have to do with iodine and your body's ability to make the thyroid hormone, there's also this energetic and emotional component. And oftentimes, especially with women, the way women are enculturated today, then they'll hold their tongue. That's how I was raised. Were you raised the same way? So if you have a difficult time with these things, which I'm about to say, then just give me a thumbs up and just really pay attention and listen to what I'm sharing with you, because it would be to your benefit then to really look at how can you shift this emotional energy to strengthen the health of your thyroid and parathyroid organs or glands. So this area of your throat, it's all about personal expression, communication, speaking your personal truth, faith, criticism. Do you criticize yourself and other people? Knowledge, judgment. Are your words that you speak full of judgment to people? Addiction, The choice and strength of will, following your dreams, using your power to create, the power of your word to speak, this is what I'm going to do, and then have the willpower to follow through and do it, and the capacity to make decisions. So if you're kind of wishy-washy, you want somebody else to make decisions for you, then look at the center of your body and the energies that this energy center processes. This part of this aspect of your life, all of this information of your beliefs around all of these things, of speaking your truth, your experiences, your thoughts. Do you believe that you can't? Have you been taught that women are supposed to be quiet and submissive, or that children are supposed to be seen and not heard, or that you're not allowed to express anger when you really feel it? You know, check yourself. Look at how you were taught to be. And if there's a lot of constricting and limiting beliefs and mores that you were taught of how you're supposed to speak, that you've adopted, and now you're having health issues with your thyroid, take a look at that. Okay? So, does it make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it is. Okay, let's go to the next center, energy center, right here in your brow, your third eye. This correlates with the third eye, the pineal gland, which is literally an eyeball. Its function and shape is literally an eyeball. The cells, particular cells within the pineal gland, function just like the rods and cones of your eyes, so that when you're dreaming, you close your eyes and you dream and you see images, you literally are seeing through your pineal gland. It is an eyeball. Okay? Sad thing is, it's gotten too calcified because of fluorinated water and this horrendous diet that we have, and so people's pineal glands aren't working right. Okay, so this area, this energy center, an area of the body, this is all about self-evaluation, your truth, feelings of inadequacy, intellectual abilities, and emotional intelligence. How open you are to other people's ideas, or are you very narrow in your thinking and your way is right and the only way and nobody else's ideas can be heard? And the ability to learn from experience. It's all also about insight and intuition. So again, this area of your life, all of this information about your experiences, of having inner sight, of having dreams, of having inner intuition and wisdom and information, if you discount that, and if you have a hard time expressing that to others and owning that as information that you were given, then you're closing down your intuition. You're affecting the functioning of your pineal gland. Also, looking at your diet, taking out the processed food, the processed sugar and flour, getting the fluoride out of your toothpaste, the fluoride out of your water. All of that is going to calcify your pineal gland and shut you down from your intuition, so you cannot receive a lot of the downloads and information that you need in order to direct your life. Okay? Okay, last one. Crown chakra. The baby's soft spot at the top of your head. Can any of you guys feel this when you rub this? Or sometimes, like when I feel it, I'll feel this buzziness when it's open and energy's flowing in and out. Let me know with a thumbs up or likes or something if you experience that from time to time too. So that is also associated with the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland in the endocrine system is considered the mother gland because it makes hormones to tell all the other endocrine glands what to do. So the crown, this energy center, is all about selflessness, humanitarian ideals and projects, faith and inspiration, your connectedness to the divine and how well you can receive inspiration and intuitive guidance, feeling a trust of life, values and ethics. Do you have them? Most of us do. Feeling a sense of courage, understanding information that you're given, spirituality and devotion and the ability to see larger patterns. It's about spiritual understanding. So again, everything in your life has to do with those themes or topics, your feelings about them, your beliefs about them, whether or not you can even grasp for higher sense of ethics like humanitarian projects. Some people have this center really open, and so those oftentimes are the ones who are really doing a lot with humanitarian efforts. Other times people have to develop to where that's an important ethic for them, or it's an important value for them. How well you can understand information, connecting with the divine. So all of that, if that comes easy to you, or if you have a difficult time with it, or if you've been taught, for example, I was raised in a very religious environment and was taught that you had to go to a man in order to get direct access to the divine, rather than being able to have valid information coming directly to you. And so it discounted your own connection with the divine. So think about how you were raised, how that has affected some of these areas of your life, and how does that manifest or show up today in how you do your life, how you relate to others, with the things that are important to you, with how you care for yourself, how you eat. All right, so those are just it's a brief introduction to the energy centers, how it relates to your physical health. And so thanks for the thumbs up and the likes. I'm glad you're enjoying this. So how do you use all of this information once you've got it? What to do with it? So let's say that, for example, with the throat, you are someone where you have a really hard time speaking up for yourself and speaking your truth. And when you feel angry, then you just swallow it. So let's say you recognize that's a pattern. You recognize that's how you're welcome. You've recognized that's how you've been taught. And so now you're seeing that it doesn't serve you in your relationships or in your career and how you make money, and it doesn't serve you in your health. And you've got maybe something going on with your thyroid. So what do you do with this? You recognize, you do some journaling, some meditation, introspection of, wow, this is what I've been carrying. These are the beliefs, the feelings, the patterns that I have. So you can do meditation, energy work, tapping or EFT is a good thing, breath work, various types of body work modalities. You can do some cleansing and fasting, like juice fasting and water fasting, to shift and release and transform the energies stored and processed in your throat, all about communication and your inability to do so. You clear and transmute those energies out of your body, out of your energy system, so that you can come into a state where it is far easier for you to communicate and speak up for yourself. It's far easier for you to say, no, this isn't right, this is right. It's far easier for you to express anger if you need to. And so gradually over time, your ability to speak and open your throat changes. And that's also going to affect the physical health of the tissues in your thyroid and this area of your body. In the same way that I experienced a shift in my throat, my sinuses, and my lungs, so I no longer got the annual winter cold and infection, just by simply shifting and clearing the energy, the emotional energy. So that's what I just want to offer you today, is just really start to think about, how does this stuff correlate? How does it show up for you? Look at the state of your health right now. Is there something that you need to improve on? What areas, what body system, like your joints, your digestion, your cardiovascular system, your heart, and maybe your immune system? Do they need to be strengthened? Look at the correlating endocrine glands that primarily support that system, and then look to what is the energy center of the body that's correlated with that endocrine gland. And then from there, you've got a lot of data to work with in terms of how to eat, what herbs, essential oils, and foods can help with that, as well as the mind-body connection that you can delve into to see if you need to do some shifting in how you feel about yourself in that area of your life. Okay? It's a mouthful, isn't it? But thanks for tuning in. Did you get some value with this? Did you enjoy this? Love to hear your comments below. If you see that there's some questions about what I shared, if you'd like to know more, then drop me a line, drop me a private message. I'm happy to share. So also, I have a study group, a monthly membership study group where I go into a lot more detail with all of this. So if you'd like to know some more information about how you can apply this, how you can understand all the stuff that I've shared, then reach out and ask me. I'm happy to share some of my experiences, direct you to some resources, and help you really implement some of this stuff into your life so that you can improve your health both physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. All right. So I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks for tuning in and listening. And the replay of this video is going to be on my timeline and elsewhere. You can always listen to it again. All right. So thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.